Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Deep Dive. I'm your host, Farian.
And I'm Sarah. It's great to be here.
Today, we are going to look at a word you see uh, everywhere. On the news, on social media. That word is startup. Everyone wants to build one. Everyone wants to work for one. But Sarah, do we actually know what a startup is?
That is such a good question, Farion. The word is, it's very popular, but the meaning can get a little lost.
Right.
Is a startup just a small business? Is it any new company, or is it something different?
Exactly. And that is our mission for this deep dive. We want to understand the DNA of a startup.
And to do that, we're looking at some really foundational books.
We have The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. We've got 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, and also The Innovator's DNA and Blue Ocean Strategy. These are the heavy hitters, Sarah.
They really are. These books, they sort of define how modern business works. They can really change how you see the world.
So, okay, let's start with a simple test. Imagine I quit my job today. I rent a small shop in my neighborhood. I buy some shelves, some apples, milk, bread. I open a grocery store. It's a brand new company. Is this a startup?
No, Farhan, it's not.
But it's new. I just started it.
It is a new business, yes, but it's not a startup. And to understand why, we need to look at the definition from Eric Ries in The Lean Startup.
Okay, what does he say?
He says, a startup is a group of people creating a new product or service under conditions of, and this is the key phrase, extreme uncertainty.
Extreme uncertainty. That sounds a bit stressful.
It is. Think about your grocery store. Do you know if people will buy apples?
Yes, of course. People have eaten apples for, thousands of years.
Right. And do you know how to sell milk? Or how to arrange the shelves in the store?
Well, yeah. I could just walk into another store and copy them.
Exactly. You are following a plan that already exists. You know the model works. A startup is different. It's searching for a model. They're kind of working in the fog.
So they don't know who the customer is, or even if people want the product.
Not at the beginning, no.
I see the difference now. So the grocery store executes a plan, but the startup searches for a plan.
That is the perfect way to say it.
This idea of newness feels like a good link to our second book, 0 to 1, by Peter Thiel.
Yes. He has a very famous idea in that book. He talks about 1 to N and 0 to 1.
Okay, let's break that down. What does 1 to N mean?
So think of N as just any number. It means more. So 1 to N is doing something we already know how to do. We're just adding more of it.
Like my grocery store?
Yes. Or think of a typewriter.
The old machines, sure. Click, click, click.
If you have one typewriter and you build 100 more, you've gone from 1 to 100. That's progress. But it's horizontal progress. You've just made more of the same thing.
Okay. So then what is 0 to 1?
0 to 1 is vertical progress. It's doing something completely new. It's when you look at that typewriter and say, I can do better than this.
You build a word processor.
Exactly. Or a computer. You've created something that didn't exist before. You've gone from 0 to 1.
That's a huge jump.
It is. And Thiel says it's the hardest thing to do, but also the most valuable. Because if you go from 1 to N, you always have competition.
Right, like all the other grocery stores.
But if you invent something new, for a while, you are the only one.
That is a powerful idea. But Sarah, this brings us right back to uncertainty. If I'm building a flying car, I have no map. How do I even start? Don't I need a big 50-page business plan?
Well, that's the old way of thinking, and the Lean Startup says that is exactly the wrong way to do it. Artis uses this great analogy. He compares a rocket ship to a car.
A rocket ship versus a car. Okay, tell me about the rocket ship.
Think about launching a rocket to the moon. What do they have to do?
They plan for years. Everything, every single detail must be perfect.
And why does it have to be perfect?
Because once you launch it, that's it. You can't fix it. If there's one tiny mistake, the whole thing explodes.
Exactly. You get one shot. And a lot of people treat their business like a rocket. They stay in a garage for 2 years building the perfect product. And then on launch day, nobody comes.
The rocket explodes.
The rocket explodes. They wasted all that time and money because they assumed they knew what people wanted.
So we shouldn't build a rocket. We should drive a car.
Yes. Think about driving to work, Farion. You have a destination, right? You know where you want to go. But do you plan every single turn of the steering wheel before you leave?
No, that's impossible.
Yeah.
I have to react to traffic, to stoplights. I just get in the car and start driving.
You steer. You adjust. A startup must do the same thing. You have a vision. That's your destination. But the path is unknown, so you have to steer.
I like that image. It feels much less scary. If I make a wrong turn in a car, I turn around.
Exactly. You just correct your course.
So in a business, what's the steering wheel? How do we steer?
We steer using a simple loop. It's called build, measure, learn.
Build, measure, learn. Okay, what are the steps?
First, you build, but you don't build the whole product. You build a very small experiment. Second, you measure. You show it to your customers and see what they do. You get data.
And then you learn.
Yes. You look at the data and you learn. If they like it, you keep going. If they don't, you change direction. That change is called a pivot.
A pivot, like in basketball.
Exactly like in basketball. You keep one foot on the ground, that's your vision, but you move the other foot to find a new strategy.
I want to ask about that build part. You said you don't build the whole product. But Sarah, if I sell something that isn't finished, won't people think my company is bad?
That's a very common fear. But the Lean Startup talks about something called the MVP.
MVP, what does that stand for?
Minimum viable product.
Minimum viable product, so a basic working thing.
That is a great way to put it. It's the smallest, simplest thing you can build to start the learning process. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Can you give us a real example? A story would really help here.
I have a perfect story from the book. It's about a company called Zappos.
Oh yeah, the shoe website. They're huge now.
They are. But let's go back to the beginning. The founder, Nick Swinmurn, had this crazy idea. He thought, I think people will buy shoes online.
20 years ago, that was a wild idea.
It was very uncertain. People told him, no way, I have to try shoes on.
So he had extreme uncertainty. What did he do? Did he build a giant warehouse?
If he'd followed the rocket ship plan, yes. He would have raised millions of dollars, bought thousands of pairs of shoes.
And if he was wrong,
Yeah.
the rocket would explode.
Exactly. But he didn't do that. He drove the car. He used an MVP.
What was it?
He went to the local shoe stores in his town. He walked in and asked the owners, can I please take some photos of your shoes?
Wait, he didn't buy any shoes, he just took photos.
Just photos. He put them on a very simple website. He had no warehouse, no inventory, nothing.
So what happened if someone actually ordered a pair of shoes?
When a customer clicked buy, Nick would get an email. He would run back to the shoe store, buy the shoes at full retail price, put them in a box, and mail them himself.
Sarah, that sounds like a terrible business. He's losing money on every single pair.
You are 100% right, Farhan. It's a terrible business for making money, but it is a perfect business for learning.
Ah, I see. He wasn't trying to make a profit. He was buying information.
Exactly. He was testing one simple question. Will people buy shoes from a website? He got his answer, and the answer was yes. Then he could go and build the real company.
That is genius. He proved the idea was good before he spent all the money.
That's the power of the MVP.
Okay, so we know what a startup is. It's an experiment. We know the method is build, measure, learn. But what about the people? Are entrepreneurs just born different?
That's a great question. And the book, The Innovator's DNA, gives us an answer. The authors found that innovation is not genetic. It's not something you're born with.
Well, that's good news for me. It means I can learn it.
Yes, you can. It's a set of skills,
Yeah.
a set of habits. And if you practice, you can get better.
So what are the most important skills?
There are 5, but let's focus on the big 3. Observing, questioning, and associating.
Let's start with observing. I mean, I watch things all day.
But you have to watch differently. Innovators watch for problems. They look for things that are boring or frustrating or difficult for people.
We're looking for pain points.
Yes.
I
The
see.
book tells the story of Scott Cook, the founder of Intuit,
The finance software company.
right? He got the idea for their first product by sitting in his kitchen, watching his wife pay the bills.
Ugh, paying bills is the worst.
It is. And she was frustrated. It was taking a long time. He observed that frustration and saw not just a chore, but a problem that a computer could solve. That idea became the software Quicken.
So skill number 1 is look for frustration. What's number 2?
Number 2 is questioning. You have to be like a 4-year-old child.
Just asking why.
All the time.
All the time. Why do we do it this way? Most adults, we stop asking those basic questions. Innovators never stop.
Yeah. Okay, so observing, questioning. What's the third one?
The third skill is associating. This means connecting 2 completely different ideas to make something new.
Like mixing ingredients that don't usually go together? Exactly. You take the idea of a taxi and you mix it with the idea of a smartphone. You get Uber, you take a gym class and mix it with Netflix. You get Peloton.
I like that. It's like a mashup.
It is. And to get good at it, you need to talk to people who are different from you. Don't just talk to other engineers. Talk to artists, doctors, musicians.
Broaden your world to find new connections. That's great advice. Okay, Sarah, one last thing. Competition. Big companies are everywhere. How can a small startup even survive?
This is where we look at our last book, Blue Ocean Strategy, and it uses this wonderful metaphor of two oceans, a red ocean and a blue ocean.
Tell me about the red ocean.
The red ocean is where all the companies, the sharks, are. They are all fighting for the same customers, the same fish, and because of all the fighting, the water turns red with blood.
It's fierce. Everyone is just trying to be a little bit cheaper.
Yes, it's very hard to win.
So you want to find a blue ocean.
You do. A blue ocean is a new market space. It's wide, deep, and clear. There are no sharps. There's no fighting. You created it.
How do you do that? Can you give us an example?
The best example is Cirque du Soleil.
Ah, the circus. I love their shows.
Well, think about the traditional circus industry 30 years ago. It was a dying business, a red ocean.
Right. All the circuses were the same.
Yeah.
And they had animals, which are really expensive.
So expensive. And people were starting to worry about animal cruelty. So you had high costs and low ticket prices because it was for kids. It was a bad business.
So what did Cirque du Soleil do?
They broke all the rules. First, they eliminated the animals.
No animals. That saves a huge amount of money right away.
Then they added things from theater. They added live music, artistic storylines, beautiful costumes.
And they made it for adults, not for children.
Exactly. So they could charge much higher prices, like a theater ticket. They lowered costs and raised prices at the same time.
And they had no competition. They created a new market, a blue ocean.
It all connects, Farion.
Yeah.
They went from 0 to 1. They didn't build a better circus. They built something new.
This has been a fantastic deep dive, Sarah. Let's try to summarize the key ideas for everyone listening.
Okay. First, remember that a startup is an experiment. You are searching for a path in the fog.
So stop trying to launch a rocket, get in the car, and start steering. Build a small MVP to test your idea quickly.
Be like Nick from Zappos. Learn what customers want before you spend a lot of money.
And practice your skills. Observe the world around you. Look for frustration. That's where the ideas are.
And finally, don't swim with the sharks in a red ocean. Create something unique. Find your own blue ocean.
I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. It's a question from Peter Thiel.
It's a famous one, and it's very hard to answer.
He asks, what important truth do very few people agree with you on?
It's a tough question because most of our beliefs are shared by many people. You have to find something where you are confident you are right, but most people think you're wrong.
If you can answer that question, you might have just found the start of your own deep dive.
It's a question worth thinking about.
Sarah, thank you so much for guiding us through this. This was fantastic.
My pleasure, Farion.
And thank you to our listeners. Keep observing, keep questioning, and we will see you next time on The Deep Dive.